because it's a time and a place for everything. I'm not gonna say he's right and I'm not gonna say he's wrong. You know, but it's so crazy. When he spoke about it, I could have easily came out and said, yeah, you spoke about it. I ain't have to say nothing.
People, more fighters that probably were afraid of him are not going to be afraid of him anymore.
I really don't know. Anything can happen, man. You know, possibility. Possibility. I would love to see a rematch, but it may happen, it may not. You know.
Because it's a time and a place for everything. I'm not going to say he's right and I'm not going to say he's wrong, you know, but it's so crazy when he spoke about it. I could have easily came out and say, yeah, you spoke about it, I ain't have to say nothing. People, more fighters that probably were afraid of him are not going to be afraid of him anymore. I really don't know that's anything can happen, man. You know, it's possibility. I would love to see a rematch, but it may happen, it may not. You know, Floyd Mayweather has commented on the Gervonta Davis-Lamont Roach rematch. He sounded off on the situation, suggesting that Tank performed badly in the first fight and he should have avoided the rematch. In response, Tank publicly accused Mayweather of being self-centered and unwilling to recognize the success of other fighters. Davis believes Mayweather's reluctance to support the rematch stems from jealousy and a need to stay in the spotlight. First of all, Floyd don't never want to see no one like a fighter do better than them. Why the say Terrence Crawford should fight? Going to be there that don't make no sense. You don't never want to see nobody be better than him. I'm telling you, is there like a brother? Last question. Yeah, I love a fighter, like I ain't going to lie. If he was like chill, like he'll be the smoothest, but he's not, you know what I mean. He's a great fighter, and my bad, and because I don't want to say like he's just a scumbag, but it's like he's a great fighter, and sometimes he can be good, but it's like it's always I'm this. Gervonta Davis's departure from Mayweather Promotions was surrounded by significant controversy. His decision to part ways with the promotion was marked by public disputes and disagreements with Floyd Mayweather. These issues highlighted the complexities of their professional relationship, as both men had contrasting views on how Davis's career should be managed. The public nature of their fallout brought attention to the power dynamics within boxing promotions and showcased the challenges faced by athletes when deciding between personal autonomy and the support offered by established figures in the sport. Bronte said, "I'm not signed to a single soul. So is Tank now a free agent, or is he still signed with Mayweather Promotions?" Well, this is the Mayweather Deji press conference, so I'm here to talk about Dubai. I'm here to talk about entertaining the people, having fun, and I'm not here to talk disrespectful or bad about any fighter. You know, they say America is the land of the free, you know, so we live, we love, and we keep striving each and every day. That's what life is about. Bernard Hopkins, a legendary figure in boxing, recently shared his perspective on Gervonta Davis's career. According to Hopkins, Davis needed to break free from the chains that were limiting him, with those chains being the influence and control of Floyd Mayweather Promotions. Hopkins emphasized that the level of control Mayweather had over Davis's career prevented him from fully realizing his potential. By leaving Mayweather Promotions, Davis gained the freedom to make his own decisions regarding his fights, including whether or not he wanted a rematch with Lamont Roach. Hopkins believed that this newfound autonomy would allow Davis to thrive as a fighter, making decisions based on his own desires rather than external pressures. "I commend Hank on saying, hey, this is my career, you had yours. I respect you from buying me a chain, buy me this, buy me that, take me on a jet. Not all that's great, but at the end of the day I'm only going by his interview. You seen it and I seen it. Thank you, Floyd Mayweather, for all the things you gave me. If the attentions was you just looking out for me, but I got an opportunity to fight this big fight and this soap opera between you and Oscar for all these years. I'm not going to let it affect me. That's my interpretation, and Tank wants to do the fight, but he had to break away from the chains of somebody he still respects and respected then, and he said, man, I got to do what I got to do. This is my career." The initial fight between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach was marred by controversy, particularly regarding the officiating. Referee Steve Willis faced significant criticism for not awarding points to Roach during pivotal moments in the fight. Many believe that the referee's actions unfairly impacted the outcome, and as a result the fight ended in a contentious draw. In response to the growing debate, Davis challenged his critics, suggesting that they could settle the dispute in a rematch. Davis made it clear that he was ready to prove himself once again in the ring, eager to silence any doubts about his skills and abilities as a fighter. The controversial nature of the initial fight created a perfect opportunity for a rematch, one that Davis was more than willing to accept in order to reaffirm his dominance. "I don't know what the just happened. You're a referee, you shouldn't see what going on. Why I would if I'm in the corner. I'm erratic in between rounds. What was your feeling in between rounds?" When you seen that we was going off my assistant coach Ben Johnson, he was going off on it like, hey Steve, what the wrong with you? He was cursing him out and everything was like that was a knockdown. He just stood off and waved us off and he was like, yeah, cuz for me one person would have been having to deal with Lamont and the other would have been the whole. That's how it was. I was dealing with him and my man Ben was dealing with the rough right. We got his attention along with the low blows as well. I was like, how many blows you gonna let him hit us with before he take a point? And then he finally warned him like an 11 round. That's crazy. Is there anybody in boxing media or media in general, cause nobody picked you guys to win at all? Nobody. I mean, I seen you guys go on promotional tours from whether it was Boxing Podcast to the Breakfast Club. Nobody picked you guys to win. Like when you get a second you grab me a water. Sorry. And is it anybody that you got? I know cause it's more than one person, but is it anybody? Thank you that you took personal out of all the interviews that you did. Is it 1 or 2 people or 3 people that you be like this right here? Anybody else? But I want to prove this one person wrong. It's not necessarily that I wanted to prove them wrong. I wanted everybody to shut the up for real, yeah, like, but I already said it. Gervonta Davis is eager to arrange a rematch with Lamont Roach. Understanding that his reputation was affected by their first fight, he sees the rematch as a chance to prove his dominance, settle unfinished business and reaffirm his place among the world's top fighters. We got to talk about it. So Tank officially came out and says that he wants to reach this rematch as early as May. Now if that were to happen, Lamont Roach gets a second time to prove itself. Now in my personal opinion his stock has already risen. He is already notable, but the fact that he went toe-to-toe with Tank on a decision that ended in a draw, whether he loses this second fight or not won't even matter cause he's directly in line to go against the Keshan Davis, the Shakur Stevensons and etc., the Devin Haney and etc. I can see him moving up and going against Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia or somebody like that. So many people to fight. Lamont Roach has definitely proven himself, but let's talk about something else, and that is the hairstylist situation. In my humble opinion, I believe she should have been quiet as a hairstylist. There was nothing for you to say. No fan in boxing was going to look at that like, I don't want her braiding my hair. No one would have said that, but she heard herself when she came out and publicly made multiple claims, doing all these receipts that no one needed, no one asked for, saying, oh, this had no grease or oil in it. No one cares, nobody even believes it. Sometimes it's best to remain quiet, but you guys let me know in the comments, should she have remained quiet or should she had did what she did, which is spoke up? You let me know. Jeff Mayweather, Floyd's father, expressed surprise at the controversial outcome of the first Davis vs. Roach fight. He admitted to being taken aback by how things unfolded in the ring. Despite this, Jeff Mayweather emphasized that he is a big fan of Gervonta Davis and did not consider the result a robbery. However, he acknowledged that Lamont Roach's performance impacted Davis's reputation with fighters who once feared Davis now feeling more confident to face him, raising questions about his dominance in the ring. Roach, first of all, you surprised that everybody's wanting to see a rematch between these two cause no one expected it to be a close fight in the first place. That much is true, and I'm a big Tank fan and I was shocked. At the outcome of the fight. Who did you have winning the fight? I have Roach winning the fight. Do you consider a robbery or do you lean Roach and are cool with the draw? I wouldn't say it was a robbery. I mean, the fight was close, but if I was a judge I would have gave Rose the fight. Alright, talking about this rematch, what do you mean? So the one thing Tank always had for him, everyone he had that kind of almost like Mike Tyson's right, the air of invincibility, the knockout power. People were scared of him, that kind of thing. Do you think what Roach did to him moving up in weight, and not being a big puncher himself, but able to withstand Tank, that kind of his air of invincibility has maybe been slightly diminished? I won't say it's been diminished, but I do think that more fighters